Yep, we're ready. Look, welcome to all our viewers wherever you are in the world. I'm sure there's going to be a few Colombians listening in to see and listen to their fantastic elite women's team that came bronze medal at the last World. So things are really looking up for the Colombian women, and post-COVID, the last 3-4 years that all these countries have been impeded in their training, it's really good to see how both teams will go in this match. And it looks like this match has started. Yeah, the match has started, so Australia and Colombia are off and running.
Muy buenos días y buenas tardes para Colombia. Veo muchos colombianos conectados. Un saludo para Nacho Tatú, para el monstruo, para Marciaristi, para la Piola. Me alegro mucho de tenerlos por acá. Voy a tratar de hacer lo mejor. Ahí con el tiempo vamos mejorando. Arrancó el juego entre Colombia y Australia, pero no tenemos video todavía. Solo tenemos la cámara de encima, superficial. Este partido es el primer partido de Colombia, es contra el anfitrión. Australia con un equipo muy joven, muy nuevo, pero igual siempre no dejan de ser peligrosas. Arnie?
Well, we've just got our underwater cameras we're having issues with, so we've only got the top camera at the moment. But we've got two bottom cameras, but the game is not in view at the minute. Both countries are really just blowing cobwebs out. There's an arm wrestle at the moment, sort of mid-court, and that's why you don't see vision. But you've got the top screen there showing that there's a change of possession consistently here, one team to the other, and it looks like Colombia might have the ascendancy at the minute. We've got an infringement, and Australia might be back in defense in Colombia, or is that?
Hay una falta a favor del equipo colombiano. Colombiano va a cobrar en este momento. Se acerca el primer gol de Colombia, posiblemente. Muy buena defensa de Australia. Están todas abajo. Defiende muy bien el equipo de Australia, pero Colombia sigue atacando. En este momento no tenemos todavía la cámara principal del partido, pero vamos comentando con lo que vemos desde la superficie. Saludos a Marcelita y al monstruo allá en Estados Unidos. Veo colombianos conectados por todas partes del mundo. A nuestro juez que extrañamos mucho, Cuquita, ahí lo vi conectado. Un abrazo, parcero. Sigue el partido, pero no tenemos visión del partido, del juego. Ataca Australia en estos momentos, Colombia se defiende. Arnie.
Yeah, it looks like Colombia had that initial move early in the half, but Australia's managed to sub well and get some fresh legs in, and now we're back to the Colombian defensive half, and we're playing on the left-hand side away from the sub-bench. So it looks like we've got a bit of a line break here by Colombia. They're bringing it across back to their sub-bench. They've managed to inject some new players, and now we're coming back to the Australian sub-bench side, the left hand. But Colombia are making a great move towards goal at the moment. And it looks like we could have a goal for Colombia. Well done.
Golazo de Colombia, no pudimos ver quién lo anotó porque no tenemos cámara todavía, pero vamos 1-0 contra los anfitriones. Por acá veo conectado a William Peña, un saludo para nuestra Federación Colombiana, para Fedecas, para Isamelines, para Mónica en Estados Unidos, para mi mamá, ay, un saludo para todos allá.
That's a fantastic effort by Colombia to weather the initial storm by Australia once they created a good subbing arrangement, and they've attacked and scored a fantastic goal. So we're back into the strike by both teams, and it looks like they've moved to the far side. Still an arm wrestle. This is going to be an arm wrestle all game. You watch. And
jugada por la pared, se defiende en estos momentos Colombia, está Australia presionando, cambio de frente, muy propio de los australianos, de abrir el juego, un juego bonito, juego bonito. En este momento ataca Australia, se defiende
we're
Colombia.
currently under advantage, Australia. The referees have allowed the play to continue, and now they're changing the infringement back to Colombia. So Colombia's got the advantage at the minute.
Cobro a favor de Colombia, desde nuestra área. Posiblemente encontremos la salida en esta jugada, aunque Australia se está defendiendo muy bien. Arne.
So it looks like Colombia switched it to the other side to try to get around Australia's defences, but Australia caught that switch and now is putting pressure back onto Colombia.
Se defiende Colombia en estos momentos, atacando a Australia de forma muy efectiva, haciendo cambios de frentes efectivos, juego abierto para los dos equipos, cualquier cosa puede pasar en estos momentos.
So now it looks like Colombia's covered that switch by Australia and now brought it back to their sub bench to get re-energise their team. And you'll see now some good subbing by Colombia to strengthen their defensive position.
En estos momentos Colombia está jugando cerca del área de relevos, que me parece una jugada muy inteligente, refrescando el aire. Hubo varios cambios, en este momento hay falta a favor de Australia, en contra de Colombia, muy cerca del área, dentro de la D.
So the pressure's on Colombia at the moment to defend this offensive move.
Se defiende Colombia, se defiende muy bien Colombia, vamos con esa pastilla para afuera y lo logramos. Estamos saliendo en estos momentos de la presión que nos estaba poniendo Australia.
So Colombia really defended that offensive threat by Australia really well, and they're moving it back to their sub-bench area to re-energise their team. This is going to be a real arm wrestle now that Colombia's put the challenge up to Australia.
Es un partido muy abierto donde están dando bastante cambios de frente, nada de eso por el muro. Juego muy bonito por parte de los dos equipos. En este momento ataca Colombia y se defiende Australia.
So Colombia's making a good drive now and have the advantage. The referees are playing advantage to Colombia.
Ataca Colombia, pero hubo una falta a favor de Australia. Se defiende Colombia.
So Australia in their pre-leading matches never got to play against Colombia. I think that might have been smart by Colombia not to show their change in style. So this is a new, Australia's got to really, on the run, make changes to cover the Colombian strengths.
Refresca el aire Colombia con los relevos y estamos en este momento atacando el lado de Australia. Aunque Australia se está defendiendo supremamente bien, son jugadoras muy jóvenes, pero con muchas ganas de salir adelante y de llegar lejos en este campeonato.
So Australia's now making a bit of a drive on the left-hand side, away from the sub-bench versus Colombia. And it looks like they've got good position now to maybe switch and bring it to the center.
El juego en este momento está en el medio de la cancha. Los dos equipos tratando de buscar dominio de la pastilla. Se está abriendo por el lado, llegamos cerca del área de relevos de Colombia donde vamos a refrescar aire y vamos con toda a contraatacar.
So Australia's still got good possession and making a drive towards their goal, but Colombia's now just had a good sub, re-energised, but we look like we've got an infringement here, and it's a free puck to Australia, I think.
Sí, es una falta en contra de Colombia muy cerca del área. Esperemos que no represente mayor peligro para nosotros, porque las niñas se defienden muy bien. Arriba Colombia.
So now you can see on the below camera the defensive position by Colombia and what Australia are trying to do to get that puck in, but it looks like they might have got there. No,
Ataca Australia y parece que han anotado un gol. Esperemos la decisión de los árbitros. Efectivamente, gol del equipo australiano.
The Australians have a great drive and a great offensive set play to score that goal against Colombia. So here we are. This is a true arm wrestle, 1-1.
Muy buena jugada por parte del equipo australiano, muchas jugadoras en el fondo y lograron el empate. Entonces esperamos a ver qué sigue.
We have a game here.
Muy parejo el partido, muy disputado por todas las áreas de la cancha. Esperemos que las niñas de Colombia se vayan arriba en el marcador. Esperemos muy pronto.
So here we go. So playing advantage at the moment. I'm guessing it's in favour of Australia, I think. Yes.
Efectivamente, Arnie, una falta de contra de Colombia. Estamos comenzando un poco nerviosas las niñas con faltas innecesarias. Esperemos a ver qué dicen los árbitros.
Let's see the setup by both teams. How they go about this free puck in the centre of the court. Australia's got the puck.
Se reinicia el juego a favor de Australia la falta, pero Colombia defiende muy bien, llevan el juego a un lado de la cancha.
Looks like Colombia caught that open play, trying to break it across the play for Colombia. And Colombia's got good possession, making a line drive up the left-hand side.
En este momento avanzamos por el lado izquierdo de la cancha, por la pared, y un buen avance de Colombia. Han pitado falta, no sabemos qué es la... Dice el árbitro, dice falta en contra de Colombia, a favor de Australia.
Yeah, so the infringe was by Colombia, so Australia's got the possession. And setting up in their defensive half against Colombia.
Se dispone Australia para cobrar, están cobrando la falta. Colombia se defiende muy bien, interceptan la pastilla. Ahora ataca Australia, se defiende Colombia.
So Australia are now making the most of that possession and have driven it into just into Colombia's defensive half. But it's an arm wrestle on the other side of the court. No chance for subbing. Oh no, Colombia actually had a sub, so that was very smart. They feel confident that their girls can keep it on that wall and control of the puck.
El juego en este momento es en el medio de la cancha. Colombia aprovecha para hacer un relevo, renovar oxígeno en las jugadoras y atacamos en estos momentos. Está por la parte del muro, juego un poquito cerrado en estos momentos, pero Colombia trata de abrirlo.
This is a real arm wrestle between these two great countries. Both teams fighting away and hardly moving the puck meters from where it's been for the last minute or two.
Estamos viendo constantemente los jugadores rebotando, lo que indica que hay mucho movimiento en el fondo de la piscina. Todavía no tenemos cámara que nos muestre el partido.
Got a fast break by Colombia, playing advantage. The referees, we're going to have a free puck in front of goal, I reckon. Yep. A stick infringement by Australia in defence. And is there? Yes, we've got an Australian out for 1 minute.
Bueno, buena oportunidad para Colombia en estos momentos. Una falta en contra de Colombia, stick infringement. Estamos enfrente de la portería y una jugadora australiana expulsada por 1 minuto.
Australia has just called a timeout to resettle his team. Coach Stu Parkinson to settle his team with a player out and a free puck in front of goal. So that's a very good timeout call. Maybe to get an extra defender in the court. An extra defender's coming in for the player that's just gone out. So they've taken a forward out. So we're playing 3 backs, 2 forwards now for Australia to defend against Colombia's offensive move.
Tiempo fuera pedido por Pipe Díaz, el coach colombiano. Yo creo que están arreglando la jugada para anotar el segundo gol. Se viene el segundo gol Colombia.
Let's see what happens after this timeout by both coaches. But it looks like the Colombian didn't take any instruction. They knew what they were doing or what they're going to do. Let's see if they can execute it.
Está cobrando Colombia en estos momentos. Están jugando una pastilla en ventaja a favor de Colombia. Esperemos ver cómo se soluciona esta situación.
Australia's managed to clear it for the minute. Got it into the dead corner. Let's see how long they can defend this and hopefully get their player back into the court. No, another infringement. Colombia's puck in front of goal.
Otra falta en contra del equipo colombiano. Hubo break-in en el cobro. Entonces llevan la pastilla a la mitad. Vuelve y cobra Colombia. Todas las jugadoras abajo en estos momentos. Colombia en muy buena posición para anotar el gol. Y esperemos a ver qué está pasando acá. Le llega la pastilla a la zurda.
Yes, goal to Colombia.
Efectivamente, Valentina, gol de la zurda, golazo de la zurda. 2 para Colombia, 1 para Australia.
Australia really defended that initial set play really well, but Colombia managed to recycle the puck back into the center of the goal, and they had a player there ready to put it in.
En este momento entonces se encuentra 2-1 el marcador, ganando Colombia. Una excelente jugada después de 2 faltas del equipo australiano que supimos capitalizar.
So what's happening now is Australia's player will flop back into the water as soon as both teams touch the puck on the strike. So Australia's back to 6-6.
En estos momentos acaba de ingresar la jugadora australiana expulsada, 6 contra 6 en este momento, y el juego se desenvuelve en la mitad de la cancha. Arnie.
Look, this is really putting pressure on the Australian team to see how they respond to this this onslaught by Colombia. A high-scoring game considering 2-1 and this far into the first half. So Australia's got possession now and they're going to put pressure on Colombia's defence. So let's see how the reply happens. Okay, I'll continue commentary with Sir just taking a breather. We're currently, Australia's still in Colombia's half, right close to the Colombians' bench. So the Colombians are managing to replenish their team very well at the moment. And Australia has no chance of subbing in new energy. So now, because of that, Colombia's making a bit of a line break towards Australia and now swimming towards and up into Australia's defensive half.
Se encontraba Australia en muy buena posición atacando a Colombia, pero llegaron los relevos y ahora las estamos atacando, somos nosotros a ellas. Estamos en este momento, se acaba el primer tiempo, vamos al descanso.
Oh, half time, there you go, team. That's a great first half by Colombia. It's probably surprised Australia. Australia did feel that they should have Colombia's measure, but there's another 15 minutes to go and there's absolutely no reason Australia can't come back into this.
Aprovecho este break del primer tiempo para saludar a toda la gente en Colombia, a toda la gente que está siguiendo el partido a través de YouTube, la transmisión en vivo. Y esto es muy importante para todo el hockey en general, para los deportistas, para los aficionados, para todas las familias, porque ayuda a que el deporte se desarrolle más.
It would be really good to hear what Coach Stu is saying to his Chargers. These sort of situations when a team is just down by one and expecting a different result, any athlete would get nervous, but I'm sure he will calm his Chargers down and refocus and resettle the team to focus on maybe Colombia's weakness, if there was one there. We haven't had good vision below the surface for me to help you understand that, but it seems like Colombia at this moment in time have just beaten Australia with numbers on the bottom, and it is a numbers game, every sport, and the chances of play are always going to fall your way if you've got the extra player on the bottom. So I'll be curious to see what Australia does now to be able to change that scenario, and obviously hard work and determination to get that extra body on the bottom to halve that contest is really important.
Seguimos desafortunadamente sin la cámara principal del partido, pues sin embargo hay otras 3 cámaras con las cuales nos estamos guiando y viendo desde la superficie. Esperemos que lo solucionen el problema técnico muy pronto para poder disfrutar de este partido. Por lo que hemos visto desde la superficie, Colombia ha puesto más números en el fondo y por eso es que le ha ido mejor en este partido. Aparte de eso, el juego que ha propuesto Colombia, ha sido abrir el juego muy dinámicamente. El equipo australiano se ha defendido muy bien también. Y estamos a punto de comenzar el segundo tiempo. Un saludo para Luis Carlos Borrero, el pollito en Cali, que nos escribe por acá. Felipe Hoyos.
So let's see what these two great teams can offer us. And the response from Australia.
Está a punto de comenzó el segundo tiempo, ahora sí, pican por la pastilla todas las jugadoras y parece que Colombia gana el pique y se desarrolla el juego en la mitad de la cancha en estos momentos. Llevamos la jugada hacia un lado.
Colombia's got the advantage. They've well into Australia's defensive half and seem to continue to have the possession. Yes, they're right up onto the wall.
Presiona Colombia en estos momentos, estamos en la esquina de australiana. Buenos números en el fondo de la piscina, pero Australia se defiende. Vuelve y ataca a Colombia Parece que tenemos muy buena posición para anotar el tercer gol.
Colombia's right in Australia's goal area. That's good defense by Australia to pull that out.
Se defiende muy bien Australia, lleva la pastilla otra vez a la pared. Relevos entran, renovando oxígeno. Y vuelve y presiona a Colombia en toda la esquina.
Both teams working really hard to attack and defend in such a tight space in that Australian defensive corner.
Encontramos un equipo australiano defendiéndose de una manera muy efectiva, muy cerradas atrás, y las colombianas intentándolo por todos los lados.
But Australia's been able to rotate and get some energy back into the team, so we've got an infringement here.
Hay falta en contra del equipo australiano, jugada agarra la barrera, cobra Colombia muy cerca del área, renuevan aire, muy posiblemente venga el gol de Colombia. Esperemos que así sea.
This infringement by Australia has allowed Colombia to inject some energy through the sub bench into the set play that they are going to create right now in front of goal.
Todavía no hay señal de la cámara, se encuentran trabajando arduamente para solucionar este problema, esta dificultad técnica. Se defiende Australia muy bien, Colombia sigue buscando la forma de atacar por otro lado. Estamos cerca del área de los relevos de Colombia, renovamos aire, vamos con toda Colombia.
Another infringement by the refs. We'll see which way this goes.
Falta en contra del equipo australiano.
Is losing a player. We're losing a player for a minute.
Jugadora número 10 de Australia expulsada por 1 minuto por la falta cometida. Cobra Colombia, tenemos ventaja numérica. Cobra Colombia, muchas jugadoras en el fondo de la piscina.
Colombia making a line break here and a good drive, but Australia's managed to defend it.
Se defiende Australia en la esquina nuevamente, muy buena defensa del equipo australiano. Buenos números en el fondo y tienen el relevo al lado, entonces lo están aprovechando muy bien las jugadoras australianas. Pero se viene Colombia. Vamos a hacer cadeneta en ese muro.
Let's see what Colombia do here. It's not going to be much longer before this player comes back in. They're preparing the Australian forward to come back in. And it's not far away from hopefully being 6-6 Australia v Colombia. But Colombia's got it right on the wall there. The defence by Australia has been very rock solid this last minute or two, being 5 down. I mean, 5 in, 1 down.
Supera números en el
Australia's
fondo.
got its player back in. So it's 6v6 at the moment. You'll see on the bottom right that our Australian winger is back in.
Se defiende muy bien Australia, van saliendo por el muro. Ingresó la jugadora expulsada, ya son 6 contra 6.
This is a real arm wrestle. Colombia's all over Australia, but Australia's managed to keep them out. So well done, Australia.
Sigue defendiéndose Australia de una manera muy efectiva. Colombia sigue atacando, buscando por dónde encontrar el huequito para anotar. Esperemos que llegue pronto el gol de Colombia, el tercer gol de Colombia.
Side to side in front of Australia's goal, Australia's been able to defend Colombia. And Colombia's looking for space, looking for any hole in the defence. And they're right in the goal tray at the minute, but Australia cleared again.
Se venía Colombia con todas buenos números en el fondo, pero Australia muy efectivamente saca la pastilla a un lado de la cancha. Se defiende Australia.
So we're basically 2/3 up the court from Australia's goal, sort of close to halfway, but Colombia is still keeping it in their offensive half, which is great for them, and the defence by Australia away from the sub bench has been solid. So well done by both countries.
Muy sólida la defensa australiana. Me quito el sombrero. Estas chicas de verdad que sí saben defenderse porque Colombia le ha puesto mucha presión. Le ha puesto buenos números en el fondo. De nuevo Colombia ataca. Se aproxima el gol. Se defiende muy bien Australia.
Another good clear by Australia.
Llevan la jugada a la esquina. Están defendiéndose en la esquina los australianas. Esperemos que Colombia encuentre el camino para sacarla de allá, cambiar el juego y anotar el tercer gol. Se viene un cambio de frente de
This is
Colombia.
such an arm wrestle. Both countries giving it their all. And we're right in the corner. So hard to get and move the puck from that corner. Because you can corner it right in with players on each position, so it's very difficult. Great place to defend.
Vuelve Australia a defenderse en la esquina. Les ha resultado mucho esta jugada, pero Colombia sigue insistiendo. Sale Australia por la pared, pero las tenemos acorraladas en la mitad de ellas. Está empujando Colombia, haciendo un cambio de frente.
They're having a line drive, Colombia now, bringing it across the pitch, but Australia's managed to knock it back and making a run down that side. So Australia having a bit of a line break v Colombia. Could this be the chance of leveling the score?
Pasó Australia de una muy buena defensa a un muy buen ataque. Avanzan en la cancha de Colombia y se juega todavía sobre la pared. No han intentado cambios de frente porque Colombia se lo ha cerrado muy bien, de una manera muy efectiva. Ataca muy bien Australia en estos momentos, se acercan a la portería de Colombia.
But Colombia seem to have possession now and moving it back. And I can see a lot of the teams are really wanting to get to the sub-bench and rotate players. So we've got both Australia and Colombia injecting new energy and new players into the game. And let's see who keeps possession and adds to that momentum that they're building. So Colombia's back in, having an attack at Australia's goal. Getting really close, but Australia's just defending it back to their back wall.
Entró sangre fresca,
And we
4
have
relevos.
an infringement against Australia, so Australia's got the puck in front of their sub-bench.
Entraron 4 relevos colombianos, empujamos muy bien la pastilla hacia el arco australiano, pero falta en contra de Colombia. Cobra Australia.
I can't see either.
Estoy aquí mirando el chat y hay mucha
I
gente,
think
mucho
they're having
latino, mucho
a
colombiano.
timeout. Both coaches having a bit of a chat and resettling their team.
Hay un tiempo fuera, están aprovechando los entrenadores para dar instrucciones a sus pupilas.
I see the Colombian team porpoising while they're breathing and re-energizing. That's a new way of doing it. Both teams resetting for these final few minutes of this second half.
Se preparan para el cobro el equipo australiano en contra de Colombia.
Okay. Game on again. Australia v Colombia. Australia's managed to bring it to the open side. Colombia seems to have stopped that switch and now putting a little bit of pressure back onto the Australian defenders.
Se venía
They're
atacando.
really working hard to try to switch it and get around the Colombian defence, but the referees picked up an infringement by Colombia. Australia's got the puck.
Se venía Australia saliendo, Colombia cerrándolas, pero parece que hubo una infracción del equipo colombiano. Cobra Australia. Ahora en
Colombia
contra.
thought it had a goal, but no, it was an infringement back mid-court. So I think from what I see in the very first minute since the timeout, Coach Stew has asked the team to really switch it at all costs, to try to get it around the Colombian defence, to hopefully create that equalising goal.
En este momento ataca Australia por la pared. Se defiende Colombia. Está el juego desarrollándose por el medio de la cancha.
Colombia's managed to inject a couple of players, but we've still got a line break here. We've got an equalising goal.
Gol de Australia. Sí. Acaba de aprobar.
14.
Gol del número 14 de Australia. Se igualan el marcador. 2 para Australia, 2 para Colombia. Vamos, Colombia.
No, 14. I thought he said 14. what number? Anyway, fantastic for Australia to create that equalising goal late in this first half. And let's see if a team can pull a goal from nowhere to win this match. 6 minutes to go.
Bueno, quedan 6 minutos y medio de juego. Estamos igualados 2-2. Esto está muy bueno. El partido se ha tornado muy interesante en los últimos minutos. Se juega por el medio de la cancha en estos momentos. Buenos números en el fondo por parte del equipo, muchos rebotes. Y ataca Australia en estos momentos.
I think that goal has really energized Australia, and I can see they're a lot more positive with the way they're going about their game, and that was critical in them being able to equalise that goal. So it was a good timeout by Coach Stu, and gave them the right information to refocus. So infringement by Australia, possession to Colombia.
Hay falta en contra del equipo colombiano. Cobra Colombia, una jugada a la mitad de la cancha. Vamos a ver qué logramos generar con esta falta.
Colombia still got possession, taking it right to Australian defence. And here we go. No, good clear by Australia, close to their goal tray, right across the face.
Muy buen ataque del equipo colombiano. Estuvimos muy cerca de la bandeja de ellas, pero se defiende muy bien Australia, de nuevo. Sacando la pastilla hacia la esquina y se juega sobre la pared. Están relevando las australianas, lo que muy probablemente les ayude a salir de su área.
So again, we've got this real big fight. The referees pull something up. It looks like advantage Australia. So Colombia will come back, that's 6-7 metres, right in front of the Australian sub bench.
Falta en contra de Colombia y tiempo pedido por el coach colombiano Felipe Díaz.
4.5 minutes left of this elite women's match between Australia and Colombia.
Nos quedan 4 minutos y medio de juego. Vamos a ver qué les dice Pipe Díaz.
Maybe a timeout.
Yep.
Yep, timeout Colombia maybe.
Yep.
So the Colombian coach has now said 4 minutes to go. Let's create a set play to hopefully keep the puck here in Australia's defence and create something that'll give them a chance to turn the play around.
Hubo tiempo fuera, como les dije, pedido por el equipo colombiano. Me imagino que Felipe Díaz está organizando la jugada.
It's a Colombian free. No, it's not an Australian free. It's a Colombian free in front of goal. A really good timeout if they can pull this off.
Cobra Colombia. Y en este momento estamos al ataque afuera de la D australiana.
So Australia's defended really well on that set play. So fantastic in that respect. This is a real arm wrestle between these two great countries.
Se viene Colombia con toda. Tenemos casi en la canaleta, pero la logra sacar Australia. Muy cerca estuvo Colombia, muy cerca.
All these magnificent moves by Colombia are being thwarted by Australia's defense.
Sigue el ataque Colombia tratando de sacarla de esa esquina donde se venden las australianas. Y hay falta en contra de Colombia. Cobra Australia.
Australia advantage, Colombia back. 3 minutes and 1 second to go in this great game.
Quedan 3 minuticos de juego. Esperemos que la niña encuentre el camino para desigualar este encuentro. Avanza Australia por el muro, se defiende muy bien Colombia, se juega por el medio de la cancha en estos momentos.
Movement, Colombia's got the advantage. moving it towards Australian goal, and the infringement has been called, and Colombia has a free puck 7-8 metres out from the Australian goal.
Cobra Colombia. Nos acercamos peligrosamente, pero se defiende muy bien Australia. Sale por la pared de nuevo.
Going to go down to the wire. 2 minutes 30. Both teams fighting it out. No subs opportunities except on these free pucks. Yes, we've got a couple of Australians coming out to sub.
En este momento cobra Australia una falta en contra de Colombia.
Let's see if Australia can create something out of nothing here. We got Australia pushing in the last 2 minutes back into Colombia's half.
Ataca muy bien Australia, se defiende Colombia. Jugada en la pared.
We're in the last 2 minutes of the match, and we're in Colombia's corner, defensive corner. What can Australia do to turn this around?
Estamos a 1 minuto 50 de terminar el encuentro y se encuentra Australia atacando muy peligrosamente por la pared en el área colombiana, cerca del área colombiana.
A minute 30 to go, and we've got all 12 girls in the corner, in defensive corner of Colombia's half.
Sigue la jugada en la esquina en contra de Colombia. Se defiende muy bien Colombia. Estamos saliendo en estos momentos. Encontramos el espacio para nadar con.
Scores at 2-2. What can Australia or Colombia do to try to break this deadlock?
Quedó 1 minuto 20 de juego. Muy intenso en estos últimos minutos. Y ataca muy bien Australia en estos momentos. Pero Colombia se defiende.
And there's time. We've got a deadlock, 2-2, Colombia. I don't know why they called that.
Bueno, termina el partido entre Colombia y Australia.
So, from both countries, I think Australia would consider themselves doing really well considering Colombia. Colombia came third at the last World Titles and they came 7th. So to match Colombia is a great result for Australia, and I think the girls will be happy with that. And Colombia will go back to the drawing board, and during this seeding round robin, both teams will have pressure on them with a draw to continue to get enough wins to move to the gold medal round. Very soon we're going to have Graham Henderson and Sergio from Colombia to do an interview post-match to see how they feel with the result of this match. So yeah, look, fantastic game of hockey by both countries. No quarter given by both. Colombia had the initial edge, scoring the first goals in both halves, but Australia resilience fought back to equalise both times. So yeah, fantastic game. Even Stevens puts pressure on both teams now in this seeding round to continue with success and to push for the gold medal round. Very soon, Graham Henderson and one of the coaches will come and speak to you and give their thoughts on this match and where it sits them moving forward in these seeding rounds for the women.
Call 1, camera 1, focus in on the interview tent and little report. Where the tent is, where the World Championship banner is. Yeah, that's where you want it on right there.
Right, welcome everybody. I'm here with Stuart Parkinson, the coach of the Australian Women's Elite Team. Tough game for an opener, Stu.
Yeah, it was. It was, yeah, we always knew Colombia was going to be strong, and we've been, preparing for this game for a while. So, look, I mean, they had the pressure on us early. They had a lot of time in attack. We were defending a lot, but 2-2 in the end. So I'm happy with that. It's the opening game, and there's a whole tournament to play. So it's excellent for the Australian women's team that result, and all credit to the Colombians for bringing an excellent game today. Yeah.
Right, what did you actually think of the Colombians' setup, the way they were coming down? What did you think of it?
Look, I thought that they were playing a really nice team game. Their spacing was very good. They got in amongst our structure quite a lot, which put a lot of pressure on our back line. And they knew what they were about. So nice underbody movements, nice puck control, big flicks, some really nice lateral movement as well off the line. So, I thought they were very dangerous, and they'll definitely be a team to watch, I reckon, this tournament.
All right, that's excellent. I mean, now you've blown the cobwebs out. You can just move into the tournament now in the beautiful sunshine.
Yeah, exactly.
How are the girls finding the facility?
Look, everyone loves this place. The pool is amazing, very quick, very clear water. And all of the setups for the sub benches and the cameras and stuff are excellent. And a shout out to Atlantis Underwater Sports for the cameras. So everyone's having a great time. Yeah.
All right, excellent. Well, no doubt the tournament goes on.
Okay.
Thanks, Stuart.
Thanks, Graham. See ya.
Okay, we're doing an interview now with Sergio Castrillon, and in his native language, Spanish, with the Colombians.
Muy buenas tardes para todos. Me encuentro aquí con el técnico colombiano Felipe Díaz. Pipe, ¿qué opina del partido?
Parce, primer partido del Mundial, muy bueno, muy cerrado, realmente pues el marcador lo mostró. Las pocas oportunidades que se tuvieron, pues anotamos 2 de esas y por ahí hay que mejorar en definir cuando tengamos opción de gol.
¿Qué opinión le merece el equipo de Australia?
Muy bien, un equipo que jugó cerrado a las bandas y por ahí encontraban ya en la última zona de ataque cómo abrir el juego, aprovechar un error defensivo de nosotras y bueno, ahí lograron el empate.
Pipe, le cuento que vi en las redes mucha gente conectada viendo la transmisión por YouTube y mucha gente saludando. ¿Qué mensaje para ellos?
No, muchas gracias por el apoyo a la gente en Colombia, en todas partes del mundo que le encanta el hockey subacuático y en especial que apoyan la selección Colombia femenina. Un saludo para mi esposa y mi familia.
El técnico de Colombia, Felipe Díaz. Muchas gracias, Pipe. Que esté muy bien.
Gracias. Chao.
Gracias.